Welcome back to the program, everyone, and welcome to Oblivion, as always. Listen, guys, we had an episode scheduled to talk about a movie today, but I'm taking this opportunity to sort of have an intervention with Jason, okay? I think I need to talk to him about his horrific movie choices, because it's starting to concern me and worry about inviting him into my home, so... Oh, hey, man. Hey, what's going on?
Hey, what's up, man?
How's it going?
Good.
So, I've been meaning to talk to you about something for a little while, man, and while I got you here just one-on-one, I thought maybe we could do that.
I don't think I really have time to talk about it. I got a splitting headache.
We're talking about Terrifier from 2016, everyone. I'm Dusty Lane.
I'm Jason Mitchell.
And we are the Cinebytes.
Hello?
I came for you. We have such sights to show you.
It was an excellent day for an exorcism.
I said, I'm not gonna hurt you. I'm just gonna bash your brains.
I want to play a game.
What's the boogeyman?
As a matter of fact, it was. This is God.
We all go a little mad sometimes. Haven't you?
But sometimes that is better.
Hello again, and welcome back to the program, everyone. And boy, do we have sights to show you today. Holy shit. We're talking about Terrifier from 2016. Jason, why'd you choose this this movie?
Because I know that it isn't your favorite. It's kind of part of the reason.
It's getting there. This was a much more positive viewing for me this time around. I remember watching it once before, and I kind of, after seeing Terrifier 2, I was telling everybody, like, yeah, Terrifier was kind of like a dry run for Terrifier. It was like a proof of concept situation for Terrifier 2.
Right.
Then that ended up being like the real movie, you know?
Right.
But there's nothing wrong with this movie. This is actually a very enjoyable movie. It's well shot, well lit. The score is perfectly proportioned to everything, and it's a really good, overall, it's a really good movie, I think.
I think score is the better way to describe the music or whatever for this movie too, because there's not really music going on.
There are a couple of songs,
right?
Just a couple of needle drops.
But in general, it's that eerie,
a lot of droney,
like
synthy, like 80s,
right?
80s scores,
unnerving things.
Yeah. So written, directed, edited, VFX, all kinds of shit done by Damien Leone. Is it Leone or Leone? Do you know how to pronounce that name?
Not sure.
But it's that guy. This was an Epic Pictures release distributed by Dread Central. That's our buddy Steve.
Oh, hell yeah.
Dread Central presents. Everybody go check out our interview with Steve Uncle Creepy Barton that we did a couple of months back. This movie is unrated with an 85-minute runtime, released in 2016, set in Miles County, New York, and our plot is basically Art the Clown paints the town red on Halloween. Fuck all that orange and black. I'm going monochrome outfit and red paint.
Dude, he's so creepy.
Dude.
I don't have anything with clowns. I know a lot of people are scared of clowns.
Right.
And hey, yeah, Pennywise was always scary.
Sure.
I liked the OG Pennywise compared to the new one personally, but Art is on another level.
I feel like, just to reference the Pennywises real quick, they're much different flavors of Pennywise.
Right.
I really always loved Tim Curry's portrayal, but he was more of a clown. You know what I mean? He was more of a goofy, silly, joke around kind of guy. He was throwing all kinds of one-liners and gags at you. But he was still very menacing, and when he wanted to take that dark turn, he could do it easily.
Oh, it was scary as hell.
Bill Skarsgård's Pennywise is more kind of just, he's already taken that dark turn, and he doesn't really come back from that.
Right.
He does throw out some jokes, but everything he does is very menacing. Like,
right.
There are moments with the Tim Curry Pennywise you could be like, oh, I could chuckle around with that guy, whatever. You do not want to do that with Bill Skarsgård's Pennywise, because he's just going to fuck up your whole day immediately.
Right.
But speaking of Art the Clown, let's go through our cast list. David Howard Thornton is a fucking gem, dude.
Oh, hell yeah.
He's amazing. The way he moves just draws you in the whole time, steals the show without ever saying a word.
That's something about that smile, man. He just gets me every time, you know?
Yeah, his face acting is incredible. The gestures he does, his fluidity of movement, everything is on point.
So a lot of people don't know that he's not the original art.
I didn't know that until you just told me.
Yeah, I think it's pronounced Mike Gianelli. He retired from acting before production of Terrifier began, so he was in All Hallows Eve.
Gotcha.
And I know there's a few in there I'm not really too hip on, but
right.
he was art and everything up until Terrifier.
Okay. All right. Well, as far as I can tell, David Howard Thornton portrays the art that we all know and love.
Oh, yeah.
Because, dude, Art the Clown is huge right now, and it's always that image of art, you know? We also have besties Tara and Dawn, played by Jenna Cannell is Tara, and Catherine Corcoran is Dawn. I think they're pretty good overall. I was, as we go through this cast list, I guess I'll just mention, like, you can kind of expect sometimes movies in this realm where you're expecting just a gore fest and there's not really going to be much in terms of good acting or even maybe competent shooting, or, you know, there's always mistakes that you expect to see in a movie like that.
Right.
But it's not really the case here. I feel like the whole cast, for the most part, except, I mean, we do have a couple of, lesser side characters who maybe aren't the greatest. But I liked watching Tara and Dawn through this. Vicky was pretty good, played by Samantha Scafidi, who is Tara's sister in the movie. Even the cat lady's not bad, man. The crazy homeless lady. I guess she's not homeless. She does live in the building.
I was just kind of like, is there any really big relevance? I mean, I know she was in the movie a little more towards the end, but in general, it was just kind of unnecessary, maybe.
Other than crossing paths with Tara to kind of be like the Harbinger character, she doesn't have much, but I mean, she's definitely used to good effect in this movie.
She gets fucked up.
Oh my God. I didn't dislike the addition of the character. I felt like it was a good move overall. But she is played by Puya Moseni. We've got Exterminator Mike, played by Matt McAllister. The woman giving the interview in the beginning of the movie, Monica, is played by Katie McGuire. These are kind of halfway between characters and extras.
Right.
But Steve and Ramon at the pizza place, played by Gino Caffarelli and Eric Zamora. And we already started talking about the music a little bit because it's amazing in this movie. Music done by Paul Wiley and cinematography by George Stuber. And that's another point we can make while we're talking about him. There are a lot of really, really, really well done shots. There's not a bad shot in the movie.
Right. Oh, yeah.
You know?
No, everything looks good. The makeup overall is fantastic. The effects.
Oh, my God.
I got a bone to pick with... We'll get there. We'll get there in a minute.
I'm so curious about your bone now, dude.
Ew.
Which is a sentence I never thought I'd say. So let's get into it, dude. On the DVD that you gave me to watch this on, it starts with just a production company card. It's Dread Central presents an Epic Pictures release. Terrifier, yeah. We got a droning score playing over some credits to begin.
Hey, one thing before we get a little too far I wanted to bring up too was this film was considered low budget. This was filmed on $35,000 and they had an Indiegogo campaign that did not reach its goal.
Oh, really?
So I feel like that plays into a little bit of, hey, some of the acting might be questionable at times. Well, you're not working with hardly any money,
right?
So
damn,
that's to think about.
Yeah, absolutely. So using this low budget, our first image we get is of a tiny TV against a brick wall backdrop, basically.
Oh, it's like a CGI TV or something for sure.
Yeah, it's like an old school one. It's got an antenna on it. There's like a bunch of static on the screen. It seems to be kind of changing channels on its own. Does this suggest to us, because we find out in a minute that Art walks up and the TV is in the room that he's in. Does this suggest to us that Art is supernatural right off the bat? Because I feel like for a while we're supposed to believe this is just a dude.
Right.
You know what I mean?
We don't really.
But the TV is changing channels on its own, and you can't do it with that kind of TV because it doesn't have a fucking remote.
Right.
So there's a fuzzy news report that kind of fades in, and as I was getting into watching what this news report was going to give me, I noticed, dude, the DVD you gave me only has Spanish subtitles on it, bro.
I'm sorry, dude.
What the fuck? Thanks, Jason.
How is that even fucking possible?
I don't know, but it was annoying. When you're taking notes, oh my God, those subtitles are so useful, dude. Whoo, buddy.
Yeah, I thought it was rather cheap. I think I got it on Amazon.
So there's an interview going on here, and the anchor is interviewing the sole survivor of the Miles County Massacre exactly 1 year ago today. And today, by the way, guys, is Halloween.
No fucking way.
When it cuts to the survivor, the TV static kind of increases, so we don't really see the image of who we find out later to be Vicky. We don't really see her right away. It kind of clears when it goes back to the anchor, of course. Like, fuck you, man. The anchor's name is Monica, we mentioned earlier. There's a cool close-up of this Zenith TV, by the way.
Right.
Nice. And finally it shows Vicky's face, and holy fucking shit!
This was the bone I have to pick.
Yeah?
Everything is pretty great in this movie except her face. I don't think that's good makeup.
Oh, okay. I was going to say, yeah, of course it's not good if that
No,
happens to your face.
I just don't think I think it looks bad.
Okay. It does. Yeah, I'm not going to disagree with that.
It's like comical almost. Like what?
Yeah, like melty face going on. She's completely mangled, dude.
She looks halfway between like a skull and a fucking jack-o'-lantern.
Yeah.
You know, it's...
Well, one side of her face is kind of like slid down a little bit, and there's no nose. This is fucking horrendous, dude.
Yeah, it's gross. It's gross as fuck.
She says, I wish I was dead. But she's doing a great job talking, though, for someone basically without lips.
Right.
The anchor asks her if she wishes she still was dead. And her response is basically that isolation is ideal. She just, that's how she copes with everything, is just staying the fuck away from people because she can't handle. Bet she doesn't have a whole lot of mirrors in her house. As they mention him on this news report, Art walks up, and they mention that his body apparently disappeared from the coroner's office the morning after the attack, which we'll find out in our final closing moments of the movie. But she insists he's dead. She saw it happen.
Right.
And when she says this, he like kicks in the TV. We go back to some more credits over him getting ready for his evening, putting on makeup
montage.
Yeah, getting his costume on. He puts on his little top hat. He's doing his makeup, and Pink Floyd's "I Need a Dirty Woman" plays. No, that doesn't happen.
I was gonna say, dude, the music sounded like 9 Inch Nails or something to me.
Yeah, it definitely had
really
that kind of vibe.
Industrial 90s sounding.
But I mentioned the Pink Floyd thing because that happened to me one time. I was in this band. And look, we were big shit. We were going places, all right? And one of the guys in the band said, for this gig, oh man, we got to put on eyeliner. When we're on the stage, you get all washed out and like your features.
Fuck out of
He's
here.
like, oh, we got to do it. So I was like, finally, I caved, and I was like sitting in the car doing it before the gig, and literally that song came on as I was putting on makeup, staring into my own eyes. Ooh, I need a dirty woman.
Yeah, I feel like my band would have set me up for something like that. It would have been a big joke.
Right.
But the only one with the eyeliner on.
Oh no, he already had his. He was good to go. So we get the gear up montage. Art puts on his gloves, his head cover thing, his top hat, and we get a shot of his gross ass teeth.
Hell yeah. He needs to brush more, dude. Super bloody.
Yeah, for sure.
You know?
Yeah. Bloody, grimy, dirty. I don't even know what all's going on in there. I don't think he cares. Did you notice there was a girl's head on the workbench as he was getting ready?
I didn't know.
Yeah, just kicking it there. It's Halloween chic decor.
Hell yeah.
He's also in this montage building something. He's making something. He's got like a scalpel, like scissors, he's making some kind of like flail, it looks like. Picks up a hatchet at one point. We cut back to Monica, the news anchor, and she's on her phone talking shit to a friend or someone about the interview she just gave. And she's I don't understand why she's talking shit about Vicky, like just being a dick to her friend. Like
she's a bitch.
Yeah,
man.
man.
That's really all. She's a bitch about what she just did with the talk show. She's a bitch to her friend.
Yeah.
She's a bitch talking about what she's about to do. She's just not.
Right.
She's not a good person.
No, she's not. She goes, I thought she was going to attack me. And we get like a spooky jump cut to where like Vicky's on the other side of the table and she like lunges for her and there's like cuts back and forth trying to basically a bit of a cheap jump scare. But Monica says, oh, my heart was pounding the entire time. Imagine what she looked like 2 feet away from you. You just saw it on TV.
Right.
You know? She goes, promise me you'll put me out of my misery if I ever look like that. But she expects her ratings to rise after this interview, which is about the time she hears a noise behind her and she turns to look. She mentions to her friend they're going to call the show Monica's House of Horrors. Just after this, her phone starts blowing up. She's like, I got to call you back. I'm getting like 50 texts right now, whatever.
Right.
So again, behind her, there's clothes rustling on the racks. And she goes over and checks inside, but there's no one there. And holy fuck, Vicky pops up behind her and gouges Monica's eyes out.
Right. Dude, great effects here.
Dude.
I thought it looked fantastic, but we got the typical Cinebytes eyeball gouge thing going on.
It's back, everybody.
Every time.
Back and better than ever.
Yeah, this is a really good opening, too. Obviously I expected Art to pop out behind the clothes, and no, we get somebody completely different out of left field,
Yeah, crazy. She bashes Monica's head a couple of times for good measure. There's a close-up during this whole thing, and Jesus, this is gory as fuck. Oh my God. Super gnarly.
Do we need to talk about this?
We might, man. Yeah. I told you we needed to talk about it. This shit is traumatic. But Vicky starts laughing. She's like completely broken at this point internally by what she's gone through. We get an awesome title card popping up. Terrifier, fuck yeah, Terrifier. Dr. Satan. We cut to a dumpster on the street. It's nighttime, and two friends in Halloween costumes walk down the street. We got a sexy skeleton played by Tara, and sexy all right, I'm not really sure what Dawn's costume is, but a sexy something. No, we do find out later, but at this point I was like, bah.
Yeah, drunk and headed back from a party, Pretty quick realized they're too drunk to drive, which I didn't think it was going that way. It was, oh, hey, I'm kind of wasted. Oh, here's my keys. Oh, and I was like, oh, God. Wow. Right. A little early for this, huh?
Yeah, dude.
But, they decide to head to a pizza shop to get some food and sober up before driving home.
Right. The conversation that they're having during this, though, Dawn mentions guys kept buying her drinks. She's fucking absolutely hammered. Tara, a little less so.
Right.
But Dawn hides a text from Tara from one of the dudes at the bar. This is where they're talking about, you're not driving. Dawn says, no, I'm fine. And Tara goes, I don't really feel like dying tonight.
Right. Too bad.
About that. Art creeps up behind them at this point carrying a bag. He looks like fucking Satan Claus.
Oh, hell yeah. Also his big bag of death tools.
It looks like a big ball in there. The way everything, like, there's no way. Like, there has to be some magic involved in this, because there's no way everything that you find out is in that bag later would be shaped like that on the outside. His side profile is Quasimodo,
right.
By the way, those shoes can't be easy to walk in, can they? I've never walked in clown shoes before, but I imagine it would be something like bowling shoes, but with like extra weight on the front.
Yeah, I don't know. They're definitely huge. I didn't really think about that. That should have probably played into some of the stuff coming up over the night, right?
Yeah, absolutely.
Kind of hard to creep around in those size 20 shoes, dude.
Just flapping like a fly swatter on the sidewalk every time you take a step. Art kind of tightens his grip on his bag and walks toward them. And then Tara ends up, Dawn gives her the keys, but then Tara's like, well, fuck me, I can't drive either.
Right.
But listen, if I eat something, it's totally going to be cool. Don't even worry about it. We're good. And then when she says this, Art stops and kind of grins at him. Dawn kind of needs a minute on the car. She's like damn near passing out. And Tara looks over and notices Art at this point, smiling all huge. She gets Dawn's attention about it. And Dawn immediately starts like flirting and just being a complete mess of a human being. My friend wants your number, she yells out. And then Art kind of disappears at this point. And before Dawn can pass out on the car, we cut to a strip mall, shitty strip mall with like the place that is most prominently positioned and lit up says pizza, wines, and liquor.
Hell yeah.
What kind of place is this, man?
The best place in the world.
But yeah, it's just a shitty little pizza place. The score kind of kicks up a bit. We get some of that 80s synth stuff coming in.
Right.
The pizza guy in the background's talking to, I thought at first it might have been his kid because he says something about, oh yeah, did you dress up or something like that? We learn very quickly it is absolutely not his kid.
Right. I feel like they sound like they're from Jersey or something, dude. It's so ridiculous.
Right. Well, it's New York,
Right.
But while he's talking to his chick on the side, I think, actually, Tara looks through pics from the night on her phone. This is where we get the information that Tara's phone battery is about to die. Let's keep that in our back pocket for later, because something weird happens I want to revisit. But about that time, Dawn walks back out from the bathroom, sits down, and she goes, "That was the longest piss I've ever taken."
That'll happen. Yeah.
She says to Tara, there's a guy that wants her to meet him at his apartment right now. She's like, "I told him I would." Just kidding, of course.
Uh-huh.
But Tara throws in at this point, "If you only had a brain." Oh, fuck, she's a sexy scarecrow. I got it.
Didn't catch it. Yeah, damn.
Art walks in at this point and then over to a table kind of opposite them, staring at Tara the whole fucking time.
Oh, dude, he's scary as fuck.
Yeah, dude. He's super scary. The simple, like, monochrome costume kind of kills it. That's
Right.
part of it for me. A big
Right.
part of it.
I agree.
But yeah, this is where I noticed, like, what the fuck is in this garbage bag, dude? Like, just a big lump of death.
Tools of death.
Dawn looks over and she's like, "Look, it's your boyfriend." And then Gino, or no, I'm sorry. Gino is his real name. Steve yells out, "I'll be right with you, buddy."
Yeah. Get a load of this fucking guy over
Yeah.
here.
You ought to see the shape of this fucking guy that just walked in. But here we go, man. Finally, we get to see the greatness of David Howard Thornton here. He's just locked on to Tara in a super intense death stare and then breaks it into a huge smile.
Bloody, though. Bloody as fuck.
Also
like,
bloody.
It's so...
But he's cute, though. He folds his hands under his chin. How can he not be cute?
That's what he wants you to think.
Dawn looks over. She's like, "Are you okay, dude?" And we look back and Art, like, kind of pretends to pick his nose and then another, like, weird smile. Tara's like, "I think we should get our food to go."
Yeah, good fucking idea.
But fucking Dawn, man. God damn it. Have you ever been out? I do. Let me rephrase that. You've been out with a drunk friend who's just completely fucking obliviated.
Oh, yeah. Hanging all over people and shit.
Dude,
And, yeah,
this is...
Dawn, thanks.
Oh, my God.
Yeah, why don't you go ahead and sit down on his lap and get a little close?
It
like,
makes for
Jesus,
the
man.
longest, worst night on the planet. I've never been sawed in half by a clown at the end, but, you know.
You don't know how close you were, though.
But yeah, Dawn goes over to get a picture with him, and her costume here is awfully revealing on top. She bends over, she's like gets in his face.
Right.
And like snapping at him. He's like completely unresponsive. He's not breaking his stare at Tara. What?
He's just fucking scary, man.
Dawn sits on Art's lap, takes off his hat, but lets it go like halfway down his face, and it like smacks him in the nose.
Right. Yeah, he looks pissed.
Yeah, well, he already looked pissed, man.
Right.
Just like his default setting.
I guess to paint this picture a little bit better, Art could be wearing normal clothes. He could be wearing business attire or a suit, but the way that he's staring at Tara during this.
And just the overall shape of his fucking face, dude.
Give the guy a break, man. Come on, eh?
You know, I'm not one to judge on looks, but Jesus. This dude's crazy.
There's no
looking.
prosthetics going on this, or what?
There absolutely is.
There has to be, yeah,
David
okay.
David Howard Thornton doesn't look
I know.
like
I
that.
was like, man, give the guy a break.
No. I've seen David Howard Thornton. He's not. He's actually a good looking dude, but he does not have the horrendously hooked nose and chin going on that Art does. That's fucking insane. But anyway, Dawn boops him on the nose, and he's got like a cute little black dot on the end of his nose. She kind of pokes, and she puts his hat back on him and takes a couple selfies. Got to have one with a duck face, of course.
Oh, yeah.
Tells him thank you and walks back to the table. Tara's like, "What the fuck is wrong with you, dude?"
What's he going to hack me up into little pieces or something?
Yeah. Yeah, that's what he's going to do.
Maybe.
No, there's no fucking question. Look at this guy. We just talked about this, Jason.
Not little pieces. Two big pieces.
Two big pieces. Got it. I mean, the night is young, I'm not going to exclude that from the realm of possibility.
See, okay, so Art seemed like a pretty nice guy. He's playing all cutesy, right? Sure. But now, to impress Tara, he walks up and takes some of the tip money from the pizza guy, man.
Takes a quarter off the table.
Oh, you dick. Come on. That's not your money, Art.
Right. Yeah, dick move, dude.
Wow.
You can't be taking tip money. That's rude.
Yeah.
Although you can tell this was like, I don't know if there's a name for it or not, but it's like the laziest tip you can do, and it's just where you leave the change on the
like
the
change
table.
and like there's like $1.
Yeah, there's like $1 and like a quarter, a nickel, a couple of dimes, a penny or two,
Times have changed the last, 10 years.
Right. So the pizza dude comes over to take Art's order and then ends up telling him to leave if he doesn't order anything.
Right, he's unresponsive.
Right.
He doesn't answer this guy. He's still focused on Tara.
Right. Dawn interrupts him at this point. She's like, you already have 8 likes, because she's fucking obsessed with her social media. Yeah, Art still has not stopped staring at Tara, and the pizza guy walks away, Steve. He's like, oh, fuck, it's going to be a long night or whatever. And yeah, that's when Art grabs the quarter from the table and he gets a ring out of one of those little machines.
Yeah, the vending machine, like little toy.
Yeah.
Right.
And he gets down on one knee and holds it out to Tara, puts it on her finger. She thanks him. And he just like strolls merrily toward the back of the shop, you know?
Yeah, which right away I said, where's he going?
Mm-hmm.
Where you going, Art?
Where indeed?
You ain't fucking going anywhere. Turns out.
Dawn says, okay, not for nothing, but that's the nicest thing a guy's done for you all day.
Right.
So Steve walks back out, brings them their pizza, and asks if they're all right. Dawn's like, oh yeah, he's harmless, whatever. Like, what, fucking harmless? That is the last word I would use to describe Art the Clown. Whether I know about him or not.
Right.
He says, don't worry, I'll take care of him. Tara's like tearing little pieces off her pizza and eating them like a bird while staring at Art's garbage bag. She's like, what the fuck do you think is in that thing?
Same thing we were wondering.
Right. Dawn's like, who cares? But Steve in the back yells out, you fucking freak, and then he throws Art out from the back.
Oh, dude, and I kind of questioned how crazy Art was going to be when I seen this, because he got bounced like a small dude at the club.
Right.
You know what I mean?
Right.
He might as well got picked up by the back of his shirt.
Yeah. And I kind of assumed it was going to be what Dawn in a minute assumes that it was.
Right.
Turns out it's not. Steve throws him out the front door and then his stuff after him. He throws out his garbage bag. Art is doing some great clowning here the whole time. He's like he's you know, honestly, he's more of a pantomime.
Yeah,
he's more of a mime than a clown.
He's miming and laughing, really ridiculous.
Right.
It's great.
But he slings his bag over his back again, and then Steve tells pizza guy number 2, who we find out his name is Ramon, he tells him to grab a mop and some bleach. Oh, fuck, what does that mean? Oh, my God.
What you do back there, Art?
It's not the worst of what he'll do. Art does what soon becomes his patented signature wave. He does a little finger wiggle wave,
right.
You know, and then he walks away. As they walk away, Dawn asks, or as Tara and Dawn walk away from the restaurant, Dawn's like, what do you think that guy did in there? Probably jizzed all over, right?
Pervert. Jizzed all over the place.
That's what I was kind of thinking. I don't know.
I know. What?
He just got done staring for 15 minutes.
He was strolling
at Tara, and then he proposed to her, and then he got up and walked toward the bathroom.
He had to go clean the pipes, huh?
She's like, I'm telling you, he totally walked out. He was obviously turned on by you.
A
and then
pervert.
Tara takes the ring off at this point and throws it. And Dawn makes a good point here. She goes, at least he did it in private. He could have pulled it out right there.
Bad clown. Bad clown.
Dawn's like, are you all right to drive? And Tara's like, yeah, that sobered me right the fuck up. Don't even worry about it. But when they get back to the car, oh shit, flat tire.
Yep. Turns out you're not going anywhere. And of course, no fucking spare.
Yeah, Dawn says it's already on the car, dude. You need to take care of your shit.
You got a spare? Nah, it's already on.
Right. Dawn's starting to feel sick, apparently, and Tara says she's going to call her sister. Back at the pizza place, Ramon is pissed, dude. We finally find out what happened in that bathroom.
Yeah, dude, Art shit all nasty.
Dude, everywhere. Shit is everywhere.
Dude, if you're going to be a murderer and that's your thing,
don't leave traces of your DNA all over the place.
No, just at
Not
least be a good pooper.
There's just no redeemable qualities in you whatsoever. You can't even shit right.
Right. We already know you're a madman. We got to poop all over the bathroom.
Yeah, you don't have to prove it any further, dude. Your face says it all. But Ramon's yelling out from the bathroom. He's like, yo, Steve, I better get overtime for this.
Yeah.
This is bullshit.
Yeah, I want time and a half pay.
And as should any artist, we find out Art wrote his name on the wall.
Oh, I didn't fucking see that.
You didn't see his name in shit
In poop?
on the stall?
No. Yeah.
Oh, dude.
He called the shit poop.
He called the shit poop. Dude, it's grease poppers.
Oh, my God.
Yeah, Ramon's bitching up a storm in there. He's like, oh, yeah, good idea. Making the guy who handles food take care of it. Like, Another good point.
Point proven. Yep. That's why there's janitors and that's why there's cooks.
Exactly. And I'm sorry, Steve, you're going to have to take care of it. It seems as though Steve is either the manager or the owner or something. Going to have to get your elbows a little dirty on this one. All right, buddy?
I ain't touching that shit. You crazy?
Well, don't have your dude, like Ramon said, that handles food
Right.
fucking go serve people after doing that shit. You have to send him home and order him to take at least 3 showers.
I'll say better after the shift than during his.
Right.
Yeah.
You know, yeah, that's the fucking move right there, dude. You put some fucking caution tape over that bathroom. Don't let anybody in there for the rest of the night. We cut back to a shot in the kitchen where there's a jack-o'-lantern lit on one of the counters. This is actually kind of a beautiful shot.
Oh, hell yeah.
I like this a lot. Kind of reminded me of, like, I don't know, just older style Halloween art
Oh, yeah.
in general.
Yeah, absolutely.
We cut to another exterior shot of a building, and inside, Tara's sister gets a phone call. And we haven't learned her name at this point.
Right.
Tara tells her sister, my phone died, I'm calling you from Dawn's. And Vicky's like, can you ever go without using social media every 30 seconds? Like, of course your fucking phone died. She tells her she's studying for a midterm tomorrow, but about that point, her roommate walks in with a dude, and then they walk right over past her to her bed, which is 3 feet away from where Vicky is sitting.
Oh, yeah, dude. It's a college living right there. You
Right.
know?
So this convinces her to pick him up. She's like, oh, you know, if I fail, I can always blame you. She goes, you're the best sister in the world. There's a great cut back to the sister staring at the couple making out on the bed. And she's just like,
Yeah, fucking assholes.
she asks where she is. And after this, the girls are hanging out in the car. And Dawn asks what's wrong because Tara won't stop scanning outside.
Right.
Her eyes are darting all over the place.
Well, she fucking knows. You just had that clown staring at you and shit, and then your tires were slashed.
What the
but he
fuck
was
do
there.
you think is wrong?
He was there prior to the
Right.
pizza shop. So, yeah.
Yeah.
Here we go again. Red flags, boys. You
Right.
know, like, watch the fuck out.
Right. She's like, what if that guy did this to your car? What if we're stuck here because of him, you know? She's like, no, I probably ran over a nail. And Tara's like, I should have just let you drive. What the fuck? Are you serious? No, you absolutely should not have. You made the right call there. Are you kidding me? She was fucking sloshed.
Yep.
But Dawn rebuttal, she's like, no, you always have to be the good Samaritan. So now we're stuck here like a couple of assholes. Back at the pizza place, Ramon is still yelling for Steve and still no answer. He comes out to see Steve's head has replaced the jack-o'-lantern. And it's even lit, dude. There's like a flame on each eye and the nose.
Yeah, dude. I said, birthday candles, maybe?
Maybe.
They're just Halloween candles, you know, but either way, great.
Art kind of rises up from the darkness in this really awesome shot behind the head.
Right.
Holding the meat cleaver, of course. Good choice. It's pretty fantastic framing in this shot because he's kind of in the background a little bit, but it's really nice.
Right, yeah. He's popped up and guys on the phone, you know, trying to figure out what the fuck's going on, and he gets stabbed in the face.
Are you talking about Ramon?
Yeah.
Oh, well, okay, so when Art stands up, we see now that there's like streaks of blood all over his costume, and we get like a close-up of Steve's flaming head.
Okay.
And Ramon starts to run, and he goes to the back door to try to get out of it, but it's locked, and then the phone rings, and he reaches for it, but Art chops off half of his fucking hand.
Right.
And then he sticks a knife directly into his fucking face. Dude, great practical effects
Right
and
in
gore.
the face. Yeah, dude, like I said, I love everything in this movie.
Yeah.
Except for Victoria's face in the beginning.
Yeah.
Like, all this stuff is all amazing. And I think that was part of Damien Leone focusing on Art, was he wanted to show his special effects skills,
Sure.
you know?
Yeah, absolutely. And, you know, now that you mention it, if Art was eating her face at the end, spoilers, everybody, wouldn't it be more skeletal than that? It's more like almost like a burn victim instead.
Like I said, it's half jack-o'-lantern, half skull. It's like, dude, Jason's face when it finally shows, and he's got that weird, like, skin tooth thing, like a fucking pumpkin.
Yeah.
It's like that. You know what I'm talking about, right?
Yeah, dude, the skin tooth. Everybody
Yeah.
knows that. Overall, great practical effects and gore in this movie. We cut back to the girls. Tara's like, well, look, dude, what if I'm right and he's out there watching us right now? And I'm like, oh, he's not.
Show your tits.
Yeah. Yeah, Dawn says show him your tits if he's watching.
Hell yeah.
You know, turns out Dawn will eventually.
Dude, Dawn's sick, dude. She might be a little loosey-goosey.
Yeah.
drunk on the night.
Uh-huh.
Love Dawn.
She's great. Honestly, yeah, Catherine Corcoran does kill this role. But Art is busy with fucking Ramon right now, so you don't have to worry about him staring at you at the moment.
Right. The cut back and forth here between them talking and being nervous about Art and him chopping the hell out of Ramon is
just mercilessly stabbing the shit out of his face.
The cuts are so good.
Yeah, back and forth between the content that they're talking about, which basically, Don insists that he was harmless, just a douchebag in a costume acting like a R word because it's Halloween. Which you see 10,000 of them every Halloween. So yeah, totally get that sentiment. But yeah, cutting back and forth between them talking about him, or talking about Art, and then him fucking just mangling Ramon back at the pizza place.
Yeah. It's like calm, violent, violent. It's great editing.
Yeah, Tara says there was something different about Art. I don't think he was just another guy. You know, the dead eyes, the smile, what was in that bag. Dawn says Tara needs to cut the shit because she's starting to freak her out. And yeah, dude, Art just keeps stabbing and stabbing at this guy's face. It's fucking relentless.
Dude, when we get the final image, like a piece of his tongue is like fucking
brutal.
severed and laying on his face.
Brutal
so
fucking close
gross.
up of the effects on display here. This guy's face is like half missing, just like Vicky's in the beginning.
Right.
And his tongue flaps out the corner of his mouth a bit, and like part of his teeth and gums are caved in. Holy shit, man.
Yeah, he's fucked. It's so brutal.
There was one element of this that I really, really liked, although it doesn't make a ton of sense, but part of his eyelid on his left eye are gone. So even though his eyes are closed, you can still see his eyeball in there.
Right.
That seems intentional. What the fuck, Art, you weirdo? Like, why are you like cutting that little bit of eyelid so you can see? Because if he was just stabbing at him, then the eye damage would have been there too.
Right.
I don't know. And I also like that you can still clearly tell it's Ramon. They did a great job on the effects. Like a lot of times when they cut to a dummy of someone, you know, you can tell.
Right.
But no, it definitely looked like Ramon's face. Tara says she has to go pee, and Dawn's like, so go.
Right. Can't pop a squat out in the road like you do, Dawn.
Yeah. Yeah, she's like, fucking where? I can't go anywhere out here. Dawn's like, well, it's going to be a while until your sister gets here, so you better figure something out.
Yeah, so they notice a guy step out of the creepy building that they're parked in front of.
Yeah, he's just popping outside the building real quick for a smoke.
Creepy guy, creepy building.
No. Okay, stop right there. We're gonna fucking talk about this. First of all, of course this dude's wearing coveralls.
Yeah. Oh yeah.
But yeah, Dawn says maybe that creepy guy has a bathroom you can use. Why does he have to be creepy? He's just standing outside the apartment, not really paying particular attention to you or anything else. He's just smoking a cigarette, hanging out. This dude looks normal as fuck to me.
He looks normal, but they're on a dark road.
Sure.
There's creepy situations going on, and the fact that he just happened to pop out of the door.
You're in an alley. You got two choices. On one side is Mike the Exterminator, and on the other side is Art the Clown. Which way you run it?
That's true, but Art ain't standing there. She should have held it and sat in the car is what she should have done.
This dude probably just got off work, man. Or actually, he's going
mid-work,
to work.
Yeah. Fucking Mike.
She mentions the building is even creepier, and I don't see that either. It looks like a pretty decent building from the outside.
It's just dark lit, and we're also seeing it from a man's eyes. You know, these are two hot chicks sitting in a car with a terrifying clown hot on their ass. You know,
I don't know. I feel like she's being a little bit of a judgy bitch, but, you know, that's just me. So at that suggestion, though, Tara runs out of the car and goes up to ask this guy exactly that, because she recognizes when the creepitude factors are too high and when they're not. Dawn.
I love this. She goes up and asks him if she can use the bathroom, and obviously, as you would assume, I'm just doing my job here. I don't own this place. I could get in trouble.
Yeah, he says he can't let her in.
Right, because of course, you know, then I'm in charge for getting you out. But I love Dawn from the car. She'll make it worth your while. Right.
So she finally convinces him. They're talking about Dawn for a second. He's like, oh yeah, is that a friend of yours? She's like, she's drunk, don't mind her or whatever. But he finally lets her in. Dawn says in the back in the car that he's even weirder looking than the clown. She was, you need to readjust your fucking beer goggles,
right,
madam. So inside, Mike says he was getting ready to bomb the hell out of the place. Good time you caught me when you did.
For fucking rats, though.
Yeah, dude.
I didn't know that you could do that. You could bomb a place for rodents as opposed to, like, it's always bugs, like
That's
down
all I've
south,
ever heard, yeah.
roaches or something, but
sure.
you could bomb a place for rodents? That's crazy.
Yeah, for sure.
And he's probably right, I would imagine. I'd probably kill you if you were in there, you know?
Probably, yeah.
For sure.
Place is infested with rats. She actually makes him check the stall for some, and he comes back out and he's like, nope, all clear, you're good.
He's a nice guy, isn't he?
She asks, what if one crawls out of the toilet? And he's like, I'd fucking be quick about it if I were you. He turns around before he leaves the room. He's like, do you need me to wait or, you know, whatever. She's like, she tells him she can find her way back. And it's like framing him to be suspicious.
Right.
But, you know, it's just a red herring, whatever. They frame him in a creepy way like that. But no, this dude's good people. Mike's good people. He finally leaves. She looks around at this disgusting fucking bathroom that I wouldn't be caught dead in.
It's a saw bathroom, dude.
She's definitely going to have to use the hover method.
It's all tiled, though, you know?
Sure. But it's just nasty, dirty, gross, oily, grimy bullshit everywhere. Just paint flaking off the walls. It's a mess. She looks like she's contemplating whether or not she's going to use it for a minute, but ultimately decides to, I guess.
Right.
We cut back outside to the car with a werewolf howl, and Dawn is listening to the radio, and there's a commercial for Craven's Halloween Superstore. We do get a nod in the credits to, I believe it's Wes Craven, George A. Romero, and Toby Hooper.
Oh, wow, okay.
Yeah. So she puts her scarecrow hat back on to take some more selfies, but she's interrupted by a breaking news alert. There's been a double homicide at the Madeira Hills Pizzeria.
Oh, shit.
Ruh-roh Raggy. Literally Raggy, because she's a scarecrow right now. Anyway. But that finally gets her attention. The police are on the lookout for a tall, thin man wearing a black and white clown costume carrying a large garbage bag. And she's like, no fucking way.
Right. And then evidently is drunk enough that she doesn't remember, so she has to check the selfies that she took. Wait a minute. Hold on. Black and white clown costume.
Oh my God.
I think we may have been around this man.
Right. Listen to your less drunk friends, guys.
Right.
Apparently, an eyewitness spotted the suspect after hearing multiple screams. Dawn takes out her phone to look at those pictures, and I noticed it was odd that when she gets to the one with Art in it, he's actually looking at her. That was interesting because the entire time I saw Art in that pizzeria, he never took his eyes off Tara. So is that more of a supernatural thing? Us seeing something in the picture that didn't happen in reality?
I didn't really think of him being supernatural until you kind of pointed out earlier. Like, yeah, he has to be, right?
Oh, yeah, absolutely. 1,000%.
That's why he's coming back to life and shit.
That's right.
You know?
Spoilers. So the car door opens while she's hanging out, checking out this picture, and it closes without cutting away from Dawn.
Which we all assume is Tara getting back into the car from taking her pee.
Right, exactly.
Nope.
Dawn goes, you're never going to believe what I just heard. And then when it finally does cut, it's Art sitting next to her.
Yeah, damn, man.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, Dawn screams, and we cut to the exterminator putting in his earbuds.
Of course. Oh my God, of course.
So yeah, he's inside, has no idea what's going on. Tara's still in the bathroom. Dawn is who knows, but he's putting in his music and he's heading upstairs. So
well, him putting in his earbuds gives us an opportunity for a cool score moment. One of those songs kicks on.
Right.
He lights up a cigarette, walks upstairs. Tara comes out of the bathroom and hears a cat meowing.
See, I thought I heard baby.
I
think it's both.
Honestly, at the very beginning of it, I heard baby, but it very quickly in that same meow turned into cat.
Right.
She goes to investigate the fucking Donkey Kong room with all these tires piled on top of each other. Seriously, just a shitload of tires and one shopping cart with like a newspaper, a hanky, some bleach. Nothing really concerning.
A hanky.
She says figures, and I'm like, wait, what does? What are you fucking talking about? So she backs up into this weird, apparently... Well, I thought homeless, but I guess she lives in the building. But crazy lady she backs up into.
Right.
And when she turns around, she apologizes, but then she's like, you don't have to say a word. Your eyes tell me everything.
This lady's fucking weird, man.
Dude, immediately.
Why is she living in the basement of the rat house?
I don't know, but Tara really plays this well. The lady's like, you must be the new tenant. You're really going to like it here. She introduces Tara to her daughter, Emily, and it's just a fucking doll.
Yeah, holy shit.
Says it's been quite a while since we've had neighbors. Perhaps we can do our laundry together. I could use some good company. And Tara agrees. And this is where she's really good thinking on her feet here. She's like,
oh, yeah.
Well, excuse me for a moment. I have to go find the landlord. I love that that idea, by the way. I would love to do my laundry with you. I just need to find the landlord right now because the first month's rent is due and I don't want to be late.
Yeah, she's quick, dude.
Yeah.
It's real quick.
Well done. As she walks away, crazy lady's like, punctuality is the thief of time, dear. Tara walks out past a forklift. We got like a low angle shot to accentuate the fact that the dress she's wearing is barely covering her ass. She turns a corner and Art is standing there with his bloody hands in the air.
Oh, yeah.
I mean, literally bloody, not the way Brits use it.
Bloody hands.
So he's standing there with his bloody hands in the air, right? Anyway, he's standing there smiling, perfectly still with a scalpel in his hands. She freezes when she seizes him, but he jerks forward and she fucking takes off. Trips immediately, trying to run down the stairs.
Right on cue.
Oh, yeah. We hear him banging on the door as she gets up and runs, and like she has to like yank this gate out of her way so she can get through. And there's a bunch of cars over there, so she hides behind one of them and watches as a close-up of Art's big-ass clown feet comes in.
Yeah, hell yeah.
I love watching Art through this scene. The way he moves and carries himself is amazing. Like I said, he steals every shot he's in without saying a word. Honestly, while we're at it, I think Tara's pretty good too. So is Dawn, actually, most of the cast. We already kind of talked about this a little bit. But you kind of almost expect a movie like this to kind of mail it in on casting, but I think they nailed it.
Right.
Anyway, Art stops to kind of sniff his scalpel through one point of this. And we get a really great side profile shot of him that really looks like, you know, it shows off his hooked nose and pointed chin. Like Art must be a Habsburg. But there's a shot also where Tara kind of somehow looks like Neve Campbell and Skeet Ulrich at the same time.
I thought she kind of looked like Neve at the pizza shop at Tad. I don't know if it's her haircut or what, but
could be. Yeah.
I also think a lot of that is on purpose. I think there's a few nods, especially coming up here in a second.
There are many nods in this movie.
Right.
Yeah. When he smells the scalpel, his head immediately shoots directly over to Tara. And I thought that was fantastic.
Right.
Takes a big sniff and smells the blood on it. And then it's like his tracking kicks in and he whips his head right over to him. And yeah, this is the part where you're right. We do have like a very Halloween score, like a ting, ting,
right.
ting, you know.
Yeah. Oh, yeah. It's I noticed it right away. And honestly, like there was a couple other movies where that happened and you pointed it out and I didn't notice. Mm-hmm. And I think that's maybe why I'm aware of it now. Like right away, I was like, holy shit, dude. That's Michael honing in on you.
Yeah.
Right at the same time, though, right on cue, we kind of get like a nail scratch from Nightmare.
Yeah.
You know?
Yeah, 1000%. She kind of like ducks down to look under the car, and we see Art's feet kind of slink away. He comes over to check out the car that she was just behind and scrapes his scalpel across the window, and it definitely calls back to like the sound of Freddy's nails scraping across something in Nightmare for sure.
I swear it's the same sound.
Yeah. Is it like a Wilhelm scream situation?
Yeah.
The Freddy scrape?
Oh, yeah.
So Art walks to the driver door of this car and just kind of studies things for a minute, and then he smiles and walks toward the back. I think he smiled because he saw a reflection of her in something.
Oh, okay.
He's like, okay, I got you, bitch, whatever.
Right.
She creeps out from behind the car and thinks she's safe too because she sees a door creaking across the room, thinks he's over there. But all of a sudden, he's fucking behind her, stabbing her leg. He's like on his hands and knees somehow with the scalpel. How in the hell did he get back there, first of all?
Right. It's like ankle, lower leg, like Achilles tendon area. You know, like right away you're like, oh, and he's not just
stabbing. He's like digging around in there with it. Jesus Christ, Art.
Yeah. Oh, that's literally what I was going to say. Damn, Art.
She punches him and it does absolutely nothing. She beats him off for a second. Wait. She hits him a couple times. And then she gets away.
Yeah.
She punches him in the face, Jason.
All right.
She gets away, but only for a second, and then he's like back on top of her, choking her, right? Or thinking about it anyway, because he doesn't really choke her. He moves instead. He puts his thumbs like on her eyes to gouge him out.
Yeah, he was. Oh God. He was going to do that Michael thing. You lift him up on the wall and put your thumbs through his eyeballs.
Well, those are separate things. You lift him up on the wall to stab him and pin him to it.
I thought he like He didn't lift him?
No, he never did that.
Okay.
A couple of different times in the series, he like stabbed someone and then lifted them up.
On the knife, I remember that.
But the other part that Michael did, he I think it was part 4, he like put his thumb through that dude's forehead.
He put it as
The ambulance drivers, or EMTs.
He does it to the guy from Dazed and Confused, too.
Oh, really?
You know what I'm talking about?
I don't think no, I don't.
He was I'm sorry, we can cut this. The cheater. So it's probably Halloween 2. The blonde babysitter that is watching Jamie is dating that guy.
That's part 4.
Is it really?
Yeah, because part 4 is when we get introduced to Jamie.
Oh shit.
Yeah.
Okay.
Okay, so part 2 picks up directly after the first one left off, and it's on the same night. Halloween 3 doesn't have anything to do with anything, and then part 4 is where Jamie
totally
comes
right.
in and starts that trilogy.
Well, let me show you the picture of his face real quick. This guy puts his thumb through that guy's forehead, and he's in Dazed and Confused too.
Okay, is that the guy in the ambulance then?
No, he does it like upstairs. He was trying to sleep with Jamie's babysitter, the hot blonde, but then he was sleeping with the sheriff's daughter or something.
Oh, yep.
They end up catching him, like, she's all pissed. They catch him in the house, but later on, he's,
Okay.
like, on the stairs, and Michael, like, picks him up, like...
Does he do it to him, too?
Like, his forehead, dude.
Or
like,
is that the one he stabs with the shotgun? Oh, man. Oh, God.
We'll have to talk about this later.
All right.
Sorry.
So, yeah, Tara grabs the scalpel, stabs him, like, right under the arm, and gets away. She runs to a door and yells for help, but ain't nobody there, of course.
Yep, no luck.
So instead, she arms herself with just a file.
Said, yeah, just a big piece of metal. I almost put crowbar and was like, no, it's not.
I think it was a file, like a metal file.
Okay.
But he gets up and walks directly toward where she's hiding. Walks over to the opposite side of the room, so she's right fucking behind him, like in plain sight if he turns around.
Oh, yeah.
And I think there's one part where it doesn't kind of really make sense for him not to see her.
Right.
But she ends up grabbing a little metal bracket off the ground and distracts him with it, throws it off, like, away from her, and he walks away. She immediately puts down her weapon, of course, like a fucking idiot.
She's kind of taking in her injury a little bit right
A little
here, you know?
bit, yeah.
She's kind of like, fuck.
Checks out her wound, whimpers a bit, right? You expect Art to pop up somewhere, but he doesn't.
Right.
Instead, we cut to some other road where Tara's sister's driving to come get them, listening to the radio, and we got another Happy Halloween announcement. It's 43 degrees and the wind should pick up for setting the tone for old Sam Hain. What the fuck, man? Come on, dude.
It's rather rude, isn't it?
Well, the fact that everybody, or, you know, some people mispronounce Samhain as Sam Hain, including fucking Loomis, speaking of Halloween.
Ooh, okay.
But I don't know. I kind of also like the idea a little bit of there being a Sam Hain, you know?
Hell yeah.
But this guy is advising people in Miles County to be extra safe. The police are still on the lookout and have advised people to stay indoors. Tara peeks back out at her old pal, the forklift, and she finally gets up the courage to make a run for it, but she finds the front door chained shut. So instead, she hobbles upstairs, she finds a phone, but it's dead, and then she sees the exterminator guy smoking a cigarette down the hall, but he can't hear her yelling at him because of his fucking earbuds.
Right.
She tries one last big yell, but then Art pops up and drags her off before the guy has a chance to turn around.
Yeah, and this is crazy too. I feel like Art kind of takes a turn here because all of a sudden Art has a syringe full of who fucking knows what and sticks her in the neck.
Something to make her pass out.
But it was just not what I expected from this character. You know what I mean? I feel like this kind of right away, I'm like, okay, that's fucking weird. But now anything goes kind of like.
He's a showman, you know? And it's interesting you say that now about the syringe instead about something later that I was going to point out that doesn't seem appropriate for him to use.
No, I already know what you're going to say.
Yeah. But, yeah.
Yeah.
Jason just did finger guns at me.
Yeah, I said, what the fuck?
Pew, 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 pew.
Yeah. Is this the same movie?
Right.
What's happening?
Right. But he has to find some way, because he's a showman, like I said, he's got to find some way to make her pass out so that he can tie her up so that he can get her all ready for the show, dude.
Right.
How else is he going to do it?
Showtime!
So she wakes up with duct tape over her mouth and tied to a chair with a big drop cloth hung in front of her. The chair looks pretty comfy, at least.
It's not too bad.
One silver lining.
Yeah.
Her feet are bound together. She struggles a bit, but she's not going anywhere, dude.
Right.
We come to find out that Art is knelt down right next to her this whole time, and he's like testing equipment. He,
Right.
Yanks on a chain to make sure it's good.
Hatchet, just kind of.
And he turns and smiles at her a little bit.
Right.
He grabs that hatchet you mentioned and like flinches at her a few times, but doesn't strike. And he pats her head like, "Oh, good job." Okay.
He's teasing her for sure.
Mm-hmm.
He takes a crazy turn here, puts down the hatchet, and grabs that hacksaw, and immediately,
Mhm.
oh my god, no.
Oh my god. It's never a good time when you see a hacksaw.
Right. He's toying here big time, dude. He grabs her by the hair and pulls her neck back and puts the saw to her neck again. So
Yeah.
he's just fucking with her,
For sure. I did think it was kind of funny that this was the reveal that we got to find out what was in that bag the whole time. Everyone's been wondering.
Right. You said
Now we find out.
just murder tools.
Mm-hmm. But he stops teasing her, throws her head back, and then he walks away. He walks instead over to the drop cloth and yanks it down. And holy shit, it's Dawn, naked except for her underwear, and hanging upside down. Her mouth is taped shut, her hands are tied together. Each foot is restrained by a different clasp, so her legs are spread.
Right.
Importantly, everyone. I thought it was funny. He kind of knelt down and he boops Dawn's nose back.
He's very menacing.
Oh, yeah. Big time. He stands up and tears her underwear off of her. Oh, my God. And then he starts sawing.
What's the matter,
Dawn.
Dusty? You a little uncomfortable?
What's the matter, Trevor? He starts sawing Dawn in half, vagina first.
Right.
Blood starts running down her body. There's a close-up from behind when he's like halfway down the ass cheeks,
Right, so you see the saw going between her. Yeah.
Separating her gluteal cleft.
Yeah, because a lot of this is like, I feel like they did all this on purpose, you know what I mean? She was wearing underwear so that way her vagina wasn't just straight on camera because of the way she was angled.
Until they started to saw, because that was going to be my question, because I knew it was coming, obviously, and I thought that he kept her underwear on, and I was like, that's going to make things a little more difficult.
Right.
But no, he tears them off before
he tears them off, and it's unseen. You kind of see him at the floor.
The actual sawing isn't seen until it gets down a bit further.
Right. That's what I wanted to point out.
Yeah. And it's more great practical effects on display here, but damn, is it not pleasant to watch, dude. Jesus Christ. He like turns with an excited face to look back at Tara like, look what I'm doing.
Oh, yeah. Yeah. Oh, he's so fucking comical going through the torso. And then,
he gets like
down to
halfway down her
head.
abdomen, and I don't know how she's still screaming. Like organs and intestines are falling all over the place. There's so much blood coming down. In one frame, in fact, so much that it's soaked under the adhesive of the duct tape and loosened it enough for her to like scream uninhibited.
Oh, shit.
Which it's a little bit of an editing error because it's back on in another shot later. But yeah, we get another close-up of him sawing, and I'm not sure how they did this one because she's still hanging there, still moving around and everything, but he's like sawing through her chest. Like he's getting close to her head at this point.
Right.
She's still hanging out.
Sick, dude.
We get quick cuts back and forth of him about to finish the job. And in those shots, it's clearly a mannequin at that point.
Right.
Tara's trying to free herself at this point as Art saws through Dawn's head. Jesus Christ. Oh, dude, Dawn of the Head.
Another shout out to classic movies. We love this guy.
Oh, man. These effects are incredible, though. Tara finally breaks an arm off the chair, and of course, Art notices immediately.
None of this part makes any sense to me.
No?
She's taped up, whatever you want to call it, and just happens to break out. And in this whole thing, Art sees it and comes to intervene, and she like smacks him upside the head, and he like falls.
It's a little bit of a repeat of what happened earlier, because like I don't have a problem with her breaking out of the chair. It's a shitty old chair. She put the right pressure on the arm, and it snapped off. Okay, great. So she uses that hand to untie her other hand and then her feet.
Right.
And of course, that takes time. So by the time she's done, Art is already on top of her. And then she turns, and when she smacks him at this point, like she punched him before and it didn't really do anything. This time, she's got the arm of the chair taped to her hand. So when she smacks at him, she's smacking, leading with that wood.
I was kind of like, wow, dude. Now she's strong.
Right.
Right. That was my thought. Like, get the fuck out of here.
No, she's still got that arm taped to her arm.
I got you.
So yeah, she hits him with that. She gets away. She grabs a knife and stabs him. She runs off. and runs right away past Dawn, or what's left of her anyway.
Right.
But I like that when he gets stabbed, his face reacts as if they're screaming, but we get no sound.
Right.
Also, the fact that Dawn's legs were swinging in unison at this point clued me into the fact that she still wasn't separated. He didn't finish the job.
Right.
You know, Tara finds her way back to the van we saw earlier in the garage, and she arms herself with a 2x4. Art walks in holding a gleaming knife, and his eyes look all mischievous here. He's having too much fun.
Oh, yeah.
He hears a noise and turns toward it, and my dude has the craziest nose in the history of noses.
Yes, he does. It's like a bird.
She beats him a bit with the cricket bat she found. That's the 2x4. She's like, come on, motherfucker. She tells him to get up, and he gets on one knee. And then he fucking shoots her? This was the other problem I had. Why is Art using a gun?
Yeah, it's out of nowhere. That's literally what I wrote. Out of nowhere, Art has a fucking gun.
It takes you out of it, man. I don't know exactly why it's so different. It's just another instrument of pain, you know, but
it's just strange, you know. He's been using physical weapons and then shoots her in her fucking other leg.
I think it's because of what we've seen of Art so far. He likes to be up close and personal. He likes to take his time and have fun with it and get as gross and creative as you possibly can at all times.
It's very unexpected.
Guns are too abrupt, you know?
Right.
I don't know. But anyway, he gets a cheap shot on her here. Her leg is fucking spraying blood.
Oh, dude, he like broke her he like shot her in the fucking bone.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Like,
oh, yeah. We get a shot of the homeless lady rocking her baby to the sounds of Tara's screams. She goes, "It's all right, Mommy. It's only the wind. Why did you call your daughter that?" Mommy? Aren't you Mommy?
I just called her crazy lady.
Was she speaking for the daughter?
Like, I don't know what the fuck this lady's doing, dude. That's why I said I didn't know if she was relevant. I'm like...
She is, just because, I mean, she comes back so many times. She's not just a one and done sort of extra, you know? She has a purpose.
I didn't think her character did anything necessarily.
There's the scene...
skinned and shit.
Sure, but there's the scene we get between her and Art that I think is a little bit relevant, poignant in some way. Art shoots Tara again in the side as she tries to crawl away, and then one last time in the head. Damn, didn't expect that. And
yeah,
then...
but it's not... That's the thing, too, is... you don't see what kind of gun this is up close. You just see it's a black gun.
Mm-hmm.
It ain't a big one.
No, it's a pistol.
Yeah.
Handgun.
Well, I'm saying it ain't a big one, like it ain't a high caliber.
It's not like a 45.
People are getting shot in the face and living.
Yeah, when we see the shot, it actually goes in kind of through her cheek.
Right.
So
it shows
who
her
knows
face
exactly
again.
what it hit? Maybe it didn't hit her spinal cord or anything like that.
If it would have been a 45 or something, though, the whole back of her head would have been gone. So that's like Art's carrying a 9, dude. Right. You know.
I think that's probably accurate. Yeah.
Or smaller.
Yeah. Crazy lady mentions, I guess the new neighbors weren't such a good idea after.
I like that we're noting some of the same shit here. Yeah, so it stood out. Oh, well, guess it ain't gonna work out.
Yeah, no doing our laundry together. Art tries to keep firing at Tara, but he's out of ammo. And he gives a great, like, exasperated gesture, like, "Oh fuck, what else?
Yeah,
what else can go wrong today?"
Wow, let me go find my other magazine.
So he walks away to reload as Tara's sister pulls up in front of the building. She walks past Don's car as Art digs through his bag. That's not a very efficient way of storing extra clips, dude.
No, I mean, just tossed in with all your other
you gotta root through a bunch of fucking blades and shit. A bunch of sharp shit trying to find your magazine. Vicky knocks on the door, and Art finally finds a clip, and then Vicky texts Tara through Dawn's phone. "Where are you? I'm standing in front of that creepy building." Again, the building's not creepy from the outside. It's not creepy until you get in it.
Right.
But then she notices Dawn's scarecrow hat is lying on the ground.
Ooh.
Art then does something else sort of unexpected. He texts Vicky back on Dawn's phone.
Yeah, Tara's sick. Come around back.
Yeah, no fucking thank you. I'm good.
I want to text with Art.
It would be too weird to me. You can't talk to Art. Art doesn't talk.
Right.
And that includes texting for me.
I think so. Yeah, you're right.
We get a shot of, fucking myth confirmed, Dawn's head is still mostly in one piece. He stopped cutting about the nose.
Right.
But he then takes a selfie with Dawn. And we've come full circle, everybody. Art comes back to finish Tara off with 6 more shots to the fucking face.
Yeah.
Jesus fuck.
That shit was brutal as fuck and unexpected.
And uncalled for. And the crazy lady sees this happen.
Yeah, she's watching along.
Mm-hmm. And he does his little smile and wave. She runs off. Tara's sister is behind the building now. The exterminator is spraying some shit when the crazy lady sneaks up on him. She asks for help. She's like, there's a dead woman in your basement. And he tells her he's going to call the cops. And she's like, yeah, do that.
Right.
Exactly. Call the cops.
Yeah, get yourself evicted from my fucking place of work.
Well, he's just trying to get the crazy lady away from him. And he runs down the stairs and hears the sister calling out. He goes to make a phone call, but then Art comes up behind him, taps him on the shoulder, and hits him in the head with a hammer.
Oof.
Knocks him out. Art smashes the phone to fucking pieces.
Right.
And then Tara's sister, we see, has now found the Donkey Kong room. And then we find out, oh, fuck, Jason, Emily is missing.
Oh, shit.
Yes, the doll.
Yeah. It's not a real person, it's okay. But the homeless lady, the crazy lady, is fucking worried.
Yeah. And then she ends up finding Art sitting in a hall with the doll. And he looks up and he shushes her. And she asks Art, is there kindness in you somewhere in your heart? Have you ever felt a mother's touch? Can you show no mercy? She's all I have. Spare her. And this is the scene that I was talking about where we're finding out more about Art through her. And the answer ultimately is no. He doesn't have any kindness in him. There's nothing relatable to humanity in this being.
Well, and we know he's definitely not too familiar with a mother's touch from this scene. You know, he starts sucking his thumb and
she touches his face and he kind of smiles a little bit. He gets into it.
Yeah, he puts his head on her chest.
Yeah,
and starts sucking his thumb.
She's kind of rocking him in her arms.
Right.
Oh man,
you all right, Art?
This is fucking
weird.
Need
to talk, dog? You okay?
Another truck pulls up outside, a pickup this time. Must be the other exterminator that was on the phone a little bit ago. He finds the back door locked and he tries to call, and this is where I found out, oh shit, his name is Mike, the exterminator.
Right. Mike's phone's off. Some bitch.
Yeah. We go back to Vicky. She calls out again for Tara, and she's like, this is the last fucking time I do this. Yeah, probably.
This is the point that I said, Jesus Christ, how big is this place? Victoria has been searching this place for what seems like hours.
Yeah.
And she's still the same thing.
This place does have...
Tara!
Right.
Dude.
This does have kind of a,
it's like the fucking labyrinth.
Well, I was going to say an Overlook Hotel sort of situation going on where the interior doesn't really make sense, or it's the fucking moving stairs at Hogwarts and shit.
Right.
You can't really make sense of this place. Tara calls Dawn's phone and she hears it ringing, so she follows the sound. She's yells out into the dark, if this is a prank, I'm going to kill you. A little late.
Right.
She sees Dawn hanging there all dead and shit, runs away like a little bitch.
So she about throws up.
Right. No, it's fucking horrendous, man. Can't blame her in the slightest. Vicky then hears a scream and thinks it's Tara. So she uses her phone flashlight to see down this dark tunnel. And she sees who she thinks is Tara lying on the ground.
Yeah, face down.
Yeah. And she's like, it's okay, I'm going to get you out of here. I'm going to get help. She tries to call the cops, but someone then calls out, Anne-Marie, help me. And it's the fucking crazy lady who is also naked, and all the skin from her chest and the top of her head is missing. And it turns out it's because Art was wearing it to disguise himself.
So she thought it was Tara and went over to console her.
Yeah.
And it was Art wearing the crazy lady's fucking chest and skull cap.
Unbelievable. Fucking Buffalo Art.
He just likes to walk around the house with his wiener tucked in like that.
So Vicky runs off and he kind of pulls her jacket off of her as she tries to get away. And, oh, dude, weird.
So she gets to a window and she's struggling. Yeah. Can't get out. Of course, this place, like I said, is like the fucking labyrinth.
Right.
The doors aren't real. Right. The fucking windows aren't real. They're just ongoing. So she's trapped and Art's heading towards her, and we get him wearing the crazy lady skin suit, dude. But he's strutting and flipping his fucking hair.
Man, Art's walking up the stairs with the fucking scalp wig on, and it's the fucking crazy lady's boob suit, and he's fucking her tit skins hanging on him, and he's naked otherwise. It's so fucking disturbing, man.
Dude, he's feeling it though. He's
He
feeling
really
good.
is.
He's
Living his best
yeah.
life. Ooh, I need a dirty woman. Vicky tries to yell out for help, like out the window that you mentioned, and Art is like sneaking up behind her all weird and slow the whole time. He flings his hair back all dramatically. She hides herself in an old freezer, and Art continues to make a show of like not knowing where she is, and he like walks away again.
Right.
You know?
He's fucking with her, and this is another shout out to classic movies, man. I think this is Texas Chainsaw.
Yeah.
I'm a huge Texas Chainsaw guy, and this locker with the eye hole is big. And then I also kind of felt I was calling it Art's Pretty Woman, flipping his hair. It kind of gives me Leatherface Pretty Woman vibes.
For sure, yeah. He shows up again, smacks the door, starts rattling it, but then he suddenly ducks as he hears a car horn start to honk. And that's the exterminator dude outside trying to reach Mike.
Yeah, he's pissed.
Yeah. There's excellent lighting in this shot of Lady Art walking away to take care of that problem.
Right.
Like the shadow on the wall. The other exterminator gets in the truck to leave, but then remembers, oh shit, there's an extra key under the mat. That's right. Yeah. So he lets himself in and calls out for Mike. And he finds a set of bloody footprints that are way too big in the front.
Right.
And a mop falls over and spooks him. And
scares the fuck out of me.
He did it?
Fuck yeah.
He steps on poor Emily, and he bends down to pick it up, and Art pops up behind him, stabs him in the head, and then takes another blade and starts sawing his fucking head off.
Yep.
He doesn't last long.
Yep. For sure. Gives his head an old soccer kick.
Yeah, Art kind of like puts his head on the ground and like steps on it to yank his knife out, and then kicks it away. Art's fucking rude, dude. Vicky finally comes out of the freezer, and she tries to get out of a locked door while Art is just joyously riding around on a tiny little bike.
I said when I saw this, it's comical, but it's so fucking terrifying because it's him. Anybody else on this fucking bike, dude?
Dude, this dude is evil Wile E. Coyote. Like,
that's good. I like that.
He rides around on that for a minute and finally rides away, and then she ends up taking that opportunity to get away, and she stumbles upon the bike with its wheel still spinning fast.
Yeah, tipped over like Art took a spill.
Yeah. She sees a bunch of rats and a gas can in the corner. She spots a tunnel, and it looks like she's about to take it when Art comes up and puts a big piece of plastic, like clear plastic, over her face.
This one, of all things in this movie, made me very uncomfortable.
Really?
For some reason. And I mean, like, obviously it's not the gore thing, but just that scene looked real, man. The plastic on her face, and you can see her gasping and the plastic sucking into her mouth. Like, oh,
it bothered me how long it took her to poke a hole in the damn plastic. These scenes have never, I'm always like, you're an idiot. Poke a hole in the fucking plastic immediately.
Right.
And it takes way too fucking long for that to happen, but I'm glad she finally decides to. At least that's a little bit of a departure from, normalcy.
You ever had anybody come up behind you and put you in a sleeper hold when you weren't expecting it?
Yeah.
That's how I would treat this plastic thing, She's just breathing normal and just all of a sudden...
Sure. Okay. I can see that.
It's crazy.
Art behind her looks fucking perplexed. How in the hell did she get out of this one? I thought it was foolproof.
Right.
But she finds a giant spike on the floor and stabs his foot with it and runs. He flips her off at this point.
I love this. Yeah. That's his... He's not going to yell. He don't talk.
Yeah.
Got a middle finger, though.
Right. She finds a ladder. She climbs it. She starts banging on the hatch that's at the top. But then, that comes to no avail, so she runs away. Turns out Mike is still alive, dude. He's
damn.
Crawling on the stairs trying to do anything at all after getting hit in the head with a fucking hammer.
Right.
Vicky finally finds Tara, and she's dead she's super, super duper fucking dead.
Circus sign.
Yeah.
Decorated with Halloween lights.
Yeah, this is a definitely a like Michael Myers put the body on display sort of moment,
Yeah, her face is just fucked, dude. She got shot in the face like 6-8 times.
Yeah.
So her
But here comes Art again with some kind of flail, like we were talking about in the beginning. He was crafting it. Hits her, gets her in the arm with it at first, and then he fucking just spends a couple minutes just tearing her fucking all up.
This gave me like God of War vibes, you know, his chains
my God,
with
yeah.
the hooks on the end, kind of.
Holy
Not
shit.
nearly as badass, but pretty damn similar because he's whipping her with this, and it's not really the chains that are leaving the marks. It's this like hook on the fucking end. It's
Well,
like
that's the
cutting her.
thing. When he made it, and we see a close-up shot of it in a minute, but it's like a pair of scissors, a fucking scalpel. There's like all kinds of shit hanging from this thing.
Ouch.
And yeah, he makes this fucking scourge, and I don't even know what, like, it's not chain for sure. It's like rope, like almost like twine, but it almost also looked like braided hair. I'm not sure exactly what's going on.
Gross,
with that thing.
bro.
But he's going to town on her with that thing for a minute, and then Mike sneaks up and hits him from behind, and he tells Vicky he's going to get her out of there. There's a close-up of the weapon at that point. Mike says he's going to call the cops, and she's like, no, don't leave me or whatever. He's like, no, look, I'm just going to go right over there. Look, there's the phone I'm going to use.
Right.
He explains the situation to the dispatcher, and she tells him to stay on the line, and he's like, no, fuck that. I'm taking this girl to an emergency room.
This is the typical emergency line from every fucking horror movie. Hey, there's a psycho killer. All right, well, just stay on the phone, please.
No, I'm
Yeah.
certainly not going to say anything if I do.
Yeah, no, he's logical. He says, fuck that. We're going to the emergency room. Send the cops over.
Yeah, he's like, I don't know what the fuck this dude is, but if he wakes up from what I did to him, he's a maniac.
Right.
We got to get the fuck out of here. They start to go, but they're locked in. And I was like, dude, there's got to be a tool around here to break these fucking chains, right? But too fucking late. Art comes back in and hits Mike a couple times with his own exterminating can.
Yeah, dude. Oh, God. I couldn't put two and two with what that was.
Yeah.
You know, he came out, so it's like a pesticide.
Yeah.
Like the thing that would have been on his
spray.
back.
Right. And then he literally stomps his foot through his fucking head. Just squished.
Oh, Art.
Popped.
He has such a way with his actions.
Yeah. Yeah, he does. Speaking of which, he like pantomimes like laughing his ass off right here. Vicky grabs a bar from the floor finally and starts trying to break the chain as Art slowly walks up behind her. He doesn't have to rush for anything.
Right.
She finally pops the lock, but just in time to not do anything about it because Art grabs her. He chokes her and she stabs him in the fucking eye with something. I don't even know what she had at that point, but she gets away.
Yeah, fuck yeah.
There's a cool shot of the door outside that just says keep out in red paint, all huge.
Which is obviously where you want to head.
Right. Yeah,
Yeah.
she does not keep out. She barely fucking gets into this door before Art grabs her hair and fucking rips some out.
Yeah, dude. Ew.
Mhm. Yeah.
When you... Never mind.
Nope.
When you grab somebody by the hair like that and pull a chunk out, does skin come with it, or does the hair break like a fucking bald pat? You know what I'm saying?
That's a good question. I
Like
would
a-
think it would like pluck out from the follicle, right?
I would hope, but
Yeah.
there's cases where stuff happens like with the fucking monkeys and shit, where you like grab the hair and the scalp comes with.
Ooh, that's gross. I don't know, but I don't want to think about it anymore.
I don't know if that needs to be in the episode, but that was literally I just glad I don't have any.
Yeah. You know, we'll never get our throat slit at war in Vietnam. Vicky screams at him to leave her alone, and he starts honking a clown horn at her. She grabs like a random fucking police baton or some shit from the floor. Where'd this thing come from? But by the time she turns around, Art disappears again. We do hear police sirens approaching at this point. Art smashes the fucking truck through the door
Right.
and hits Vicky.
Yeah, such a crazy fucking scene. She's kind of, where is he? Where'd he fucking go? Peeks out the door. Boom.
Oh my God.
Sick truck, though.
And when he finally like smashes through, he like stops and he's like dancing to the music on the radio as she's laying on the floor bleeding. And he's eating her as the cops show up.
Yeah, he starts eating her face.
Yeah, he
Which
does.
is a very different turn than I thought. You know, it's almost at this point you're like, what can you expect from Art?
right.
He's not just a killer.
What more than what he's already done?
Right.
Certainly.
Since when is he a cannibal? You know?
I mean, we've only known him for a night. You know, he can do anything. He raises his left hand when the cops are like, raise your hands, freeze, whatever. And with his right hand, he reaches for his gun. And he whips around, but when he turns around, his gun is in his mouth.
Right.
And he blows his own head off.
Completely unexpected.
Yeah, I didn't see that one coming.
Right.
The cops call it in. One of them tells the other that Vicky is still alive.
Yeah.
At this point.
She makes a gurgling noise or something, you know?
Yeah, kinda... no thanks, dude. Just take me out.
Right.
I'm good. And yeah, this is where you kind of find out and put two and two together that she was the one from the interview at the beginning.
Right.
We cut to the EMTs bringing two bodies into the coroner, and they tell him it's a murder-suicide. She's the one guy says to the coroner, "You're going to have to identify this guy with his teeth if you can dig them out of the back of his skull." Talking about Mike.
Jesus.
And he goes, the coroner goes, "I should probably put on a 7th pot of coffee then, huh?"
Right. Well, and then at the same time, can you bring me a breakfast sandwich? Anything with bacon, please.
Well, yeah, we get...
Said you are going to cut open bodies.
Well, because the other EMT tells him there's 2 more bodies other than this coming.
Right.
He's like, since I'm going to be here for another 24 hours, do you think you guys could grab me a breakfast sandwich with bacon or something with bacon? Just bacon. I just need some bacon. Can you bring me some fucking bacon, please? She's like, how can you eat a fucking greasy bacon fucking croissant or whatever? He's like, look, dude, I've been doing this 22 years. Once you see an 8-month-old microwave to death, everything else is just old hat.
Oh, boy.
Wow.
Yeah. Jesus.
So he checks out Mike's stomped-in face, and then he goes to look at Art, and there's a big old smile on Art's face when he opens the bag.
Right.
And it's looking right at him, too. All of a sudden, the lights and the phones and the radios all start going apeshit, and then they stop just as suddenly. And he turns back around to Art, who then grabs him by the neck and sits up with his fucking head, skin, and brains and shit flapping out the back of his head. You see the hole in the back of his head, man? God damn.
Yeah, from where he killed himself.
Yeah.
Yeah, we hear the coroner screaming here.
Yeah, we get like a slow zoom out to a shot of the emergency room exterior.
Right.
So Vicky is in a wheelchair, and she's saying goodbye to the doctor, and her parents are there. They're preparing to take off with her.
It's almost like she's getting out of like physical therapy or surgery. Like that she's finally like,
she's been in the hospital for a while.
Right. Like, hey, you're finally ready to go.
Right.
And it's important to note that she's turned the other way.
Yeah.
So we're still unsure who the person was at the beginning.
You can make a pretty safe assumption at this point. But
right.
Yeah, the doctor says, oh, hey, good luck with your interview tomorrow. Dun, dun, dun. And then they turn her around and it reveals her crazy fucking face. And we get a flash of Art's as it cuts to black. And the credits roll.
Right.
The end. What'd you think, dude?
Heavy. Heavy, very good. Great effects, man. Overall, like, I love the effects in this movie, minus Victoria's skull pumpkin face. I think it's fucking... That is the only bad thing about this movie, I think. For me. You know? And I know everybody isn't going to agree, but they could have did something different. I mean... For sure. Look at the guy from Hannibal with his face ripped off.
Yeah. Gary Oldman.
That's way better.
Yeah. Cordell.
Yeah, right. And, oh, God, it's uncomfortable to talk about that guy, but... This one seemed too funny for me there. Other than that, everything else was phenomenal. Like you said, first watch or two through, I was kind of like, it's just a gore fest, which I do love that. Mm-hmm. But no, there's way more to this movie than it seems. Yeah. A lot of people just like to point out the saw in half scene, you know. Right. There's so much more than that.
That of course that's the big thing to take away. Like, holy shit, that's something we've never seen before, sure. But there's plenty throughout this movie. There's nothing else that's done in this movie that is subpar to that.
No.
You know?
All the gore in the movie is great. All of it's fucking accurate. It seems accurate. Everything's fucking gross. I'm squirming at it. Oh, right. Fucking gross art. You know, art is creepy. Dude, easy. 7 out of 10 for me.
Okay. Before I get to my like overall recap, I wanted to give a couple of nods to some things I saw in the credits. That it was featuring Scorsese the cat, first of all. Oh. Found that pretty funny.
Aw.
And Damien Leone is the fucking writer, director, editor, sound design, VFX, special makeup, effects, props, like all kinds of shit, dude. He was a one-man band for he wasn't. Obviously, there were plenty of other people that helped him. I'm not trying to say that. I'm saying that
he did a lot, though.
He did a ton, and this was clearly a passion project for him.
Right.
And you can see that coming through. And that's going to come in a second when I do my little recap here. But also mentioned in the credits, in memory of Wes Craven, George A. Romero, and Tobe Hooper. I think I did mention that earlier, actually. But anyway, yeah, I was pleasantly surprised by another watch through of this, man. Like, I do remember watching it before, and I do remember the big scenes, and obviously it's gory, but I do think now that it's a lot more than that.
Right.
This was a much higher quality movie than I was expecting to watch, and then I turned it on and was really pleasantly surprised by it. I mean, I was expecting just a gore fest, possibly incompetently shot with lots of boobs to cover up the bad acting, you know?
Yes, please.
Except without the bad acting part.
Right.
But was pleasantly surprised to see almost exactly the opposite in terms of, like, the acting was pretty good overall, and it was beautifully lit and shot, and yes, the gore was absolutely still there, but not just to mask anything, like, not as far as it could have gone either, really.
Right.
Which it will, don't worry.
Oh, yeah.
But I gave this one 10 out of 13 boob dresses, dude.
Oh, hell yeah, dude. I always love somebody putting on a nice suit to go to a nice ball
with boobs,
you know, with boobs.
Sure.
Nodding back to stuff that we've watched before, you know, like Otis with the skin suit, and
right.
I love it. I fucking love it. I like the charisma.
How much do you love it, Jason? Let's get back to the beginning of this episode when I was like, "Hey, man, we got to talk." How much do you love it?
It's fantastic. It's all good. Like I said, better watch through second time for sure. Art's not going anywhere, man. We're only on technically Terrifier 3, which if you follow the series, this is not Art's debut by any means, but this is Art's debut on his own focus.
Pièce de résistance.
Yeah. Yeah, dude, this is great. I'm excited to see. We got Terrifier 3 coming out very, very soon. 2 was over the top. 3 is supposed to blow it out of the water. This is not all we're going to see of Art, dude. There's plenty more to come.
No, absolutely not. This is a solid addition to your collection. I would say definitely get it. Fucking wear it like a boob dress, dude. You know? It earns it. It really does. It's a really well-crafted movie. Despite the low budget, despite the intent of what everyone assumes, you know, like
which is always too, you know, that's why I kind of said that like I did at the beginning. According to Hollywood, $35,000 low budget.
Sure.
I got buddies that make movies with a couple $1,000s.
Sure.
But they're not a Terrifier movie. You know what I mean?
Yeah, absolutely. By no means. But yeah, I think that about covers it. You got anything else you want to add?
No. It's just be on you. You need that hair flip like Art had, you know?
You heard it here, folks, but that's going to about wrap it up for us. If you'd like to get a hold of us, you can do so by reaching us at cinebytespod@gmail.com. You can also hit us up on social, Cinebytespod on Facebook, Twitter, Instagram, X. We got TikTok, we got YouTube. Go check out all the things. If you feel inclined to support the show, you can do so by going to cinebytespod.buzzsprout.com. And I think we can call it here, folks. As always, dreams are fleeting. Only nightmares last forever. Follow your nightmares.
Boy.
Kill her, Mommy. Kill her.
I bid you welcome.
We started buying Mr. T's Bloody Mary mix, and it was fucking spicy or bold or something, and ooh-wee. Like, didn't even add anything else to it.
I pity the fool who don't drink my spicy bowl Bloody Marys.